What it do, family? It's your girl TOOTIE. I am back, Jack. Shout out to the squad, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. That's all you got to do to support the channel, and it's absolutely free. It's free 99. You dig what I mean? We've been talking some of the things that we missed in the preliminary hearing with NaZiyah. So we've been looking at all of the forensic portions of it. The trial is about to start back up, and this is the real trial, not the preliminary, in October. So it's good that we all refresh our palates so we can have a little profound understanding of what's going on. I want everybody who's involved to go to jail. I don't care who you is. I don't care how old you are, neither. You can be 8. You can be one of Shannon's kids. If you was involved, go to jail. All y'all asses. I'm dead serious. You can be 5 or 59. Go to jail without pass and go. Now we're about to get into this here. Let me put myself up. And yeah, we're about to get into it. Now this video right here was the evidence that linked NaZiyah to the actual crime scene. Okay, we know that it's very, very hard to get convictions sometimes, or get people to be declared or something way when there's no body. So for it to happen, it has to be significant evidence. Now, trust me, the trial is gonna probably show a lot more, but this will give us a little bit more understanding too. And I can't really miss this shit, but we're finna get into it right now. Let's get it. Come on, Susan, get up here, make me proud.
Raise your right hand.
Because everybody else been getting on my nerve.
Yes. Okay. Just watch your step. And you can pull that microphone off the ledge if you want, so you don't have to keep leaning into it.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record?
It's Erica Anderson, ERICA.
Kenya.
And how are you employed?
I'm with the Michigan State Police Northville Crime Lab in the Biology Unit.
And how long have you been employed by Michigan State Police in the Northville Crime Lab?
For 15 years.
And what kind of education do you have for your job?
I have a bachelor's in biochemistry from Eastern Michigan University. I also have training with the National Forensic Science Technology Center and the Michigan State Police. That was approximately 1 year of testing in biology, forensic biology and DNA analysis.
Okay. So what kind of training, I guess, do you have to have for your role that you do, and do you do any continuously?
Yes, so I did approximately 1 year of training with the previously mentioned, as well as continuous education, which includes at least 8 hours in DNA specific training, as well as up-to-date journal articles and current technology.
Okay. And do you have any certifications or any necessary licenses for this job?
No, we haven't.
Okay. And have you testified as an expert before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Where at?
Washtenaw County, Wayne County, St. Clair, Oakland County, federal.
And approximate how many times have you testified as an expert?
About 40.
And what is it that you testified as an expert in?
DNA analysis.
Your Honor, move to certify Erica Anderson as an expert in DNA analysis.
No objection.
Okay.
I tell y'all, man, I know a lot of us been watching this and following this case, but I'm going to tell y'all, bro, it's just something that always just blew me about the clothes and the ID. It never set right to me. I never really felt that NaZiyah was going to be nowhere near there. For the people that have been following me from the beginning, it just always bothered me. Everything was, to me, was just too much in plain sight. The ID being there. And when I see things like that, and we didn't seen enough crime shows, when you see situations like that, you know the only reason somebody does that is to deter you from somewhere else. So I honestly felt like that baby was somewhere near that shop or by park. You know, I never felt like it was over there on 7 Mile for some reason. So I'm really, really curious to see how this ties in.
Thank you, Judge. I want to talk about this case specifically, and when I say this case, I'm referring to lab number MD
Some was just off.
24-691. Did you author reports as it relates to that case number?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what record numbers did you author?
Record 4, 6, 8. Oh, and 5, sorry.
Okay. So 4, 5, 6, and 8.
Correct.
Okay. And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Anything was marked as legal proposed exhibits 20.
I probably shouldn't take that shot, but let me ask y'all something. Have you ever watched a court case and when the person say, Yana, can I approach? Have y'all ever heard the Yana say no? Have y'all, like, what would be the reason why she say no? Do anybody know? I just need to know. I need to know everything. I want to know.
22, 23, 24, and 25. You look at these and tell me if you recognize what I handed you.
Shit.
These are the reports I authored.
Okay. And we'll go through these one by one. Is People's Exhibit 23, is this a fair and accurate copy of the report you authored as it relates to record number 5?
Yes, it is.
I move for the admission of People's 23.
No objection. Is it given as People's 23?
Okay, sorry, not Witness 22. In Proposed Exhibit 22, is this a fair and accurate depiction of the report that you authored in record number 4?
Yes, it is.
Move for the admission of People's 22.
No objection. It will be admitted.
Thank you. And in Proposed People's 24, is this a fair and accurate depiction of the report you authored as it relates to record number 6?
Yes, it is.
Move for the admission of People's 24.
No objection. It will be admitted.
And 25, is this a fair and accurate depiction of the report you authored as it relates to
Juju, you better do that damn work.
Yes, it is.
Move to admit People's 25.
No objection. It will be admitted.
Thank you. Now, may I publish, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't know. It looked like she might have been, she dated a black man a time or two. I can see through her.
She want to share the screen. Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
you.
Okay. So we're looking at People's 22 right now. Tell me, what is it that like these reports just generally start with at the top?
The information that is submitted by the agency with the evidence, which is their agency number, as well as the investigating officer, and then we assign a laboratory number to the case. It also has the date received for that evidence and the date the report was completed.
And who comes up with the nature of offense? Do you list that? Does the police list that?
The agency,
Okay. And what about the victims and suspects? Who lists those?
they also list those on the paperwork when they submit the evidence.
Okay. So in record number 4, what did you do in record number 4?
I interpreted and recorded 2 items of evidence that were submitted.
What were those items of evidence?
A buckle swab from Jarvis Butts and an ID, swabs of an ID card.
Help me out. Medical people in the did she say a buckle? So I mean, so what? They swabbed his ass? Is that what that mean? What's that? What did she say? The fuck?
On the paperwork when they submit the evidence.
Okay. So in record number 4, what did you do in record number 4?
I interpreted and recorded 2 items of evidence that were submitted.
What were those items of evidence?
A buckle swab from Jarvis Butts and an ID, swabs of an ID card.
And what is it that you did to them? What's the process that you did?
So I'll give you a general overview of the process. When we receive this evidence in our laboratory. It's usually in a small tube. It's cuttings or swabs from evidence. We then extract the DNA. We see how
Okay.
much is present.
Because I was about to
and
say,
we make
damn.
many millions of copies of that DNA. We can then get a picture of that DNA profile from the evidence or the individual, and we can compare those. So in this case, I received the buccal swab, and for a reference sample or a buccal swab or blood known DNA from an individual, everyone has one or two what we call types at each of the locations within the DNA. So when I see one or two at one of these locations, I know that's only one person. If I'm seeing 3 or 4, 2 people in that sample.
Okay.
So for a reference sample, blood or buccal swab from the inside of someone's cheek, there would only be one individual present because that's directly from that individual.
Gotcha.
Okay. And
The DNA is motherfucker. Hey, I hope y'all wrenching y'all mouths out. You know what I'm saying? Because if they do some buccal swabs, it might be a lot of DNA that y'all think y'all done got rid of. Them demons, them spirits, get them off you. Bathe. Get you some Dr. Teals. Get you a buccal swab. Make sure you got everybody up out of you that you need to get up out of you. I'm dropping facts.
what you do, your process doesn't change or alter the DNA in any way, does it?
No, everyone has their own unique DNA profile. It is specific only to that person unless they have an identical twin. Every cell in your body has the same DNA profile that is unique to that individual.
So in record number 4, you came up with some interpretations. What does that mean?
So when I look at the kind of the picture of that DNA profile, I'll interpret how many people are there and then make comparisons to any known samples and the evidence.
Okay. So in interpretation number 1, you obtained a profile from the Jarvis Butts buccal swab.
Yes, I did.
Okay, and that was
Jarvis
sufficient
Butts
for
buccal
comparison
swab.
purposes.
Correct.
What does it mean to be sufficient for comparison purposes?
So the DNA must
Love you back,
be above
Vanita.
a certain threshold for evidence or references. And in this case, that DNA profile was all above that threshold, and it can then be compared to evidence.
Okay. And the interpretation number 2, you obtained a DNA profile
Yeah, put it
from
up there.
ID card swabs, but that was insufficient for comparison purposes.
Correct. The amount of DNA there was just too low and did not make it above that threshold, so I couldn't do anything with it or compare it to anything.
Okay. So you can say there's DNA there, but you can't compare it to anything.
Correct.
Okay. And that was the entire substance of record number 4. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. In record number 5, what evidence did you analyze in record number 5?
I received earbuds that were submitted as a possible alternate known. Fabric mattress pad cover cuttings. Plastic mattress cover piece. That's it.
And
You know, that shit, it's so bothersome that ain't even a baby here to get her own DNA. Like, we got a result to earbud swabs and shit from where she slept. That is just, to me, that is fucking insane to me, bro.
these are earbuds, alternate known. What does it mean? What does alternate known mean?
When there isn't a known sample from an individual, occasionally they can bring in, an agency could bring in alternate known. Usually this would be a toothbrush or something that you knew belonged to them, a comb, or something along those lines. And then we could use that as an alternate known for that individual as their known sample.
Okay, so as opposed to there's a straight buccal swab from them or a hair strand from them.
Generally, buccal swabs or blood samples are used as references
Okay.
or known samples.
She has 2
And this is
enchantress.
Do you know what alternate known you received?
There's an alternate reference known possibly for the victim in the case.
Okay. Would an alternate known, could that also be like a blood card from a birth?
Yes, that there are blood spot cards taken at birth that can be obtained from hospitals to be used as known samples.
Okay, so it'd be a known sample.
Correct.
Okay. And your results in this case, in your interpretations, you stated there was a DNA profile obtained from the earbud swabs that was not sufficient for comparison purposes. Is that the same thing as you were saying?
The fuck?
The other way, or you could
I was about to say,
moderate
Jesus.
support, or just
Bro, I thought it was in. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
limited support, which would be just a little bit of a tilt, or they can be fully excluded from the sample. So in this case, it was 4.6 thousand times more likely that it originated from those 4 unrelated individuals than Jarvis Butts and 3 other individuals, which is moderate support that he's not a contributor. So it's tilting that way, just not all the way.
And in record number 8, what evidence did you analyze here?
I received black hoodie stain swabs, another set of black hoodie stain swabs, black hoodie swabs, pink bodysuit stain swabs, pink bodysuit swabs, as well as NaZiyah Harris blood card.
Okay. Now, what kind of testing did you do in record number 8?
The same as the previous records.
Okay, that's autosomal DNA?
Yes.
Okay. Now, going through this, you were able to have a sufficient amount of DNA for comparison for NaZiyah Harris's blood type?
Correct.
Okay. And in your second interpretation, this is as it relates to black hoodie stain swabs. This is the 5AD stain swabs. What were your hypotheses here?
So I determined that there were 2 individuals in that black hoodie stain swab, the first one, 5AD, and I would compare each of the known individuals to the sample. So initially it would be Jarvis Butts and one unrelated unknown contributor, and then on the other hypothesis would be 2 unrelated unknown contributors. So based on those results from the black hoodie stain swabs, it was approximately 460 times more likely if it originated from Jarvis Butts and an unknown contributor than if it was from 2 unrelated unknown contributors. And this provides moderate support that Jarvis Butts is a contributor to the black hoodie stain swabs.
Okay. And you can't say what that stain was, can you?
No.
Okay. And then you said you did one for Jarvis Butts and you did one for NaZiyah Harris.
Correct. So when comparing NaZiyah Harris, it's approximately 3.7 million times more likely if it originated from NaZiyah Harris and 1 unrelated contributor than if it were from 2 unrelated unknown contributors. And this provides very strong support that NaZiyah Harris is a contributor to the black hoodie stain swabs.
Let me just ask you guys something. I mean, because like when I be doing these cases, we can't always stay one-dimensional. Now, a lot of us kind of felt like, the clothes was a plant. So if the clothes was a plant, I mean, what goes along with that. Is there anybody in these comments, without a shadow of a doubt, think that for whatever reasons, that there's still a possibility that NaZiyah could be with us? I just really want to know where people's heads at. Please put it in the comments. I want to know.
And in interpretation 3, this is the second of the black hoodie stain swabs, 5BD. When they're separated like that, when you have like 5BD and 5AD, does that tell you that they're different parts that are being swabbed, different areas?
Generally, it will be 2 different stains on the same item, but the person that actually took those swabs, they would best be able to describe where they were collected from.
Okay. So as it relates to 5BD, the black hoodie stain swabs, what did you find there?
That was one individual in that sample, and it genetically typed as female.
And so if that's the case, what was your hypothesis then?
So comparing NaZiyah Harris to that sample, that was 3.6 octillion times more likely if it originated from NaZiyah Harris than if it was from an unrelated unknown contributor. And this provides very strong support that NaZiyah Harris is the contributor to that black hoodie stain swab. And then I compared Jarvis Butts as well, and he's excluded from it to his single source samples.
Okay, and would that be because you found that it was only from one individual genetically typed as female?
Correct, yeah. When comparing him, he's excluded.
Okay. And when you say octillion, I'm not a math person, how many zeros is that?
Nigga, ain't that 8 million? Zero?
That is 27 zeros.
Damn. Oct.
Okay. And in interpretation number 4, we have just black hoodie swabs, and that's 5CD. And you have two analyses here. One with Jarvis and one with NaZiyah. What did you find as it relates to the comparison with Jarvis?
So the black hoodie swabs, and generally these are taken to see who may have possibly worn it or skin cells opposed to stain swabs. So I determined that this was from 3 individuals. There were 3 individuals in that sample, and at least one of them genetically typed as male.
So then that was 2 women. Ooh.
Comparing it to Jarvis Butts, it was approximately 2.1 million times more likely if it originated from Jarvis Butts and 2 unrelated unknown contributors than if it originated from 3 unrelated unknown contributors. And this provides very strong support that Jarvis Butts is a contributor to the black hoodie swabs.
And what about the comparison to NaZiyah?
When comparing NaZiyah Harris, it is 97 sextillion times more likely if it originated from NaZiyah Harris and 2 unrelated unknown contributors than if it originated from 3 unrelated contributors. And this also is very strong support that NaZiyah Harris is a contributor to the black hoodie swabs.
And how many zeros after your sextillion?
Sextillion is 21. And just for reference, anything over 1 million is considered very strong support.
Okay.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I know that we're going to get into the blood portion of it, but right now, you know what I'm saying, them having DNA on that hoodie together, after reading Brooklyn's transcripts, we see how he used to do. You know, he would let her leave her shirt on and just have her bottoms off. So I could see how it could be a transfer, but maybe when we get into this blood, I'm just trying to see, like, what evidence was it that you got to just really just declare someone deceased from? I mean, because you really got to prove that. Now, when you're talking about first degree premeditated murder, the charge itself bothers me a little bit. Because I feel like, you know what I'm saying, first degree, you know what I'm saying, you have to wake up that day and say, you have to be with certainty and feel like Jarvis woke up that day and said, yeah, she's going to be gone. And as of right now, it doesn't speak to premeditated to me. Now, I'm not no lawyer. I could be wrong. But from the trials that I see, I feel like that's what got us in trouble with George Zimmerman and Trayvon. They tried to give him first degree. It made it seem like he woke up that morning saying I was going to unalive Trayvon. That's almost impossible to prove that sometimes. So that charge with Jarvis scares the shit out of me, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
And the next interpretation is to the pink bodysuit stain swabs. And you performed this assuming that there was 2 individuals. What was your comparison?
Sherry, I'm happy you're here, pumpkin.
When comparing to Jarvis Butts, it was 6.3 times more likely if it originated from Jarvis Butts and 1 unrelated unknown contributor than if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown contributors. And this provides limited support that dark spots is a contributor to the pink bodysuit stain swabs.
Okay. And as it relates to NaZiyah Harris?
It is approximately 60 septillion times more likely if it originated from NaZiyah Harris and 1 unrelated unknown contributor than if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown contributors. And this provides very strong support that NaZiyah Harris is a contributor to the pink bodysuit stain.
How many zeros in septillion?
Septillion is 24.
And then you interpreted the pink bodysuit, just regular swabs of it. And you determined that there was 2 individuals, at least one was typed as male.
Correct.
Tell me your comparison with Jarvis spots.
It was 24 trillion times more likely if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown contributors than if it originated from Jarvis spots than 2 and 1 unrelated unknown contributor. And this provides very strong support that Jarvis spots is not a contributor to the pink bodysuit swabs.
And you had said previously, just the swabs of items, you said they're more related to like a wearer ID type thing?
Generally, if it's a possible stain, blood stain, semen stain, it'll have the word stain. It's just swabs of. Generally, it is just swabs looking for who was possibly wearing that item. But I did not take the swab, so
Fair
that
enough.
person would be able to tell exactly.
And for the comparison with NaZiyah Harris, what did you find there?
It was 150
Yeah, Gina.
times more likely if it originated from NaZiyah Harris and 1 unrelated unknown contributor than if it was originated from 2 unrelated unknown contributors, which is very strong support that NaZiyah Harris is a contributor to the pink bodysuit swabs.
And I think we said previously that was 21 zeros.
Sextillion, yes.
Okay. And
This is.
what were your findings as it relates to interpretation number 7 of the fabric mattress pad stain cover?
So in the earlier report, we did not have a known sample from NaZiyah Harris, so I went back and compared her to those previously submitted evidence samples, one of which was the fabric mattress pad cover stain, which she was excluded as a contributor to that stain. Also,
Yeah, you can
also to the plastic mattress cover piece swabs, which you'll remember that was 4 individuals. When comparing her, it was 430 million times more likely if it originated from 4 unrelated unknown contributors than if it originated from NaZiyah Harris and 3 unrelated unknown contributors. And this was very strong support that NaZiyah Harris is not a contributor to that plastic mattress cover piece swabs. The final was the shower drain swabs. That was also 4 individuals. And that was 13,000 times more likely if it originated from 4 unrelated unknown contributors than if it originated from NaZiyah Harris and 3 contributors. And that was strong support that NaZiyah Harris is not a contributor to those shower drain swabs.
And
You know what I'm sitting here thinking about? Because the more you hear this evidence, bro, the more it make you a little nervous when it comes down to just like you thinking that it's just really boiling down to one person. Like, you know, at one point I was certain, but as you pull the layers back of this case, man, it could be so many different things. Now here's the thing, when I just did a poll a minute ago of people who was thinking that she was alive, as much as I want this baby to be alive, it'll also set us back 50,000 years. We would never be taken serious, and then the part about it is especially this case getting more highlight than anything else. So as much as I want to, and I'm hoping if she is alive, is due to circumstances that she couldn't control, and not some plot, because it's bothersome to me, these clothes, y'all. The clothes never sat right with me. It never sat right with me.
Nothing else in the detector.
Ross.
Good afternoon.
Good for you.
So when you receive the swabs, you said in separate tubes. Each swab or cutting or whatever you would be testing comes in a separate tube,
Correct.
and it's all labeled with a number that corresponds with the file that you're working on. Is that correct?
Correct. Each one has its own ID, yes.
Okay. And what other communication do you receive with those swabs?
Good question,
We have
Windsor.
submission paperwork,
Good question, Windsor.
And that is in our system. Located
Windsor, on God.
as well as all of the worksheets from the analysis that we go through. There's chain of custody. I mean, all this is within our system, but we only receive that initial information when we submit it, that paperwork. Occasionally we'll have a police report or something, but in this case I didn't see one.
You didn't have one in this case?
I did not have one in my case file.
Did you have any communication with Sergeant Shannon Jones before you did the testing?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Did you know, was there a name associated with this file that you knew of before you did the testing?
There are, like I said, names within the case file. Generally, we process samples in batches and we don't really look at all that before we get started until we sit down and actually write the case, and those profiles are already complete.
Okay, and I'm gonna try to get some information from you just on how that process works, because I have a limited understanding of DNA, so correct me when I mess up. But as I understand it, when you're running these samples, essentially you come up with, ultimately for interpretation, kind of a line that shows peaks, and that is those are the things that you're comparing. Is that fair to say?
So we look at 24 different areas within the DNA, and 2 of those will just give me the sex of the individual, if they're male or female, if there's a male included. On the other 22, it will be 2 like peaks basically at each location, and you'll have either 1 or 2 each individual.
And there could also be other peaks. So typically you have some that are taller than others, but you could also have shorter peaks. Is that fair to say?
If there's multiple people in that sample, I'll see maybe several peaks, and that's how I would determine how many individuals are in that sample.
Or things that you might interpret as, like, I think they call it stutter.
We possibly, it's a kind of a normal part of the system. There are these peaks that are expected, and they generally are filtered out. Occasionally they get a little high, but we know what they are. So.
And I was going to say, so then when you see this chart, is that part of your interpretation to kind of exclude that?
And Jay blew it. That's exactly what it is. Right as of right now, I'm just being absolutely honest. With the evidence presented, okay, you got to think about it. It's humans like us that's gonna be on that jury. So, Shawty, if we feel a certain type of way, we pretty much probably share the opinion of somebody on that jury. Now, here's the thing. There's no denying the fact that he's a prick-ass nigga. There's no denying the fact that he's nasty. There's no denying the fact that he had relations with many minors. But as of right now, no one can say with 100% certainty that we've seen enough evidence to make him feel like he could be the murderer. And that's just my opinion. And listen, I say once again, the opinions on this channel is only mine. It doesn't belong to anybody else. But listen, I'm saying that, and I'm an intelligent person. It's proven petty. Is a pedo. Is proven a liar. Is proven nasty. Is proven a prick. I just don't see enough evidence right now to prove that he unalived anyone. Because here's the thing. When you say premeditated, you got to say Jarvis said, hey, today's the day I'm going to do it. He would not have allowed himself to be present with NaZiyah in front of so many people. I mean, this nigga was at the shop. She was at the shop. She was in front of not only his sister, but in front of King. They went to Ypsilanti. She was in front of the grandmama and the auntie. It's like when you think about that type of shit, like is somebody really gonna parade somebody around if they woke up, you know what I'm saying, with the intent to hurt somebody? That's weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Him lying when Shannon texted him. Now when I'm looking at the situation, I ain't gonna lie. That could have been a way of Shannon acting like she didn't know where she was at. Versus Jarvis. I mean, we already know why he was lying, or one of the reasons why he was lying, because we knew he was sleeping with her. So Shannon texting him and saying, have you seen NaZiyah? And him saying no, if he know that he finna get some, that's not, he been lying. We seen many texts, but it now could be Shannon posing an alibi for herself. And either way it goes, it still doesn't look good for her. She still is not making it make sense to me on why she would lie about things that she had no reason to. Her and Annette, that's what it always go back to. Tomorrow we're gonna do one more piece. A piece of the preliminary that I missed, but we gonna also tap into her last seen photos, and because I'm gonna tell you the last thing that sticks out with me with this whole case. And I did a video on it already, but I did it a while back, so I'll refresh y'all. I'm not understanding how these clothes was being found by so many people at one time. Now I got a motherfucker who does it, or a white man on this stand, who says that he physically pulled clothes out of the brush. Now I will make sure that I have all those clips just in the moments what I'm trying to prove. I physically remember this man saying that he pulled clothes out of the brush. That was a hoodie, and it was a motherfucking one shoe, and everything was wrapped up. He said the reason why the clothes was outstretched is because he needed to take pictures and photos. That's the only reason why the clothes was laying outward like this. And then I got a little young boy walking through the woods and walked up on that exact scene, saying he found it first. So either the city of Detroit got a problem preserving evidence, or somebody lying. And then we got creators finding the shoe. So I don't understand, if it's one truth, how 3 people got it. It's never added up to me. So that's made the clothes and the ID, it just looked too wide open for me. Two in the open. And it was like, yeah, please look at me over here so you don't see me over there. That's what I always got from this shit. But it's weird as hell. But now when you pull it back, I'm hoping when this trial, they got a lot more shit that we ain't seen so far. Because right now, I'm not even convinced from the preliminary that he might be solely responsible. And the fact that Shannon them and the people in the house don't got swabs on file is beyond me. Unless they got a file we don't know about at the trial. Because nigga, what?
Significance.
The starter peaks?
Yes.
Yes. I would evaluate if any of those peaks could possibly be stutter or not.
Okay. And I think you answered this, but I just
it ain't adding up.
How many loci did you test?
There's 24 total loci.
And that's what you...
He ain't taking a murder charge. See, here's the thing. He has a charge. He ain't convicted. If this nigga know that he didn't do it and he got a trump card in his pocket, he would be doing exactly what he's doing now. And that's not saying shit. Now, whoever is guiding him is guiding him right. Because right now, listen, if Jarvis did not do that, but he do know who does it, he's saving it. Trust and believe that shit. Because right now you got to understand, he had other charges along with NaZiyah. He had another charge with a child. He had a gun charge. He had a combining thing. So this is what they're going to do off right. They're going to put all them charges in a pile, and they're going to try to give him a big ass whammy. Okay? What could help the whammy? Telling where NaZiyah is. The trial is humongous. If he give any type of fucking evidence on where this girl is located or what happened, they would knock 10 to 15 years off this nigga's sentence. I promise you they will. So he wouldn't talk right now. I don't really, him not talking is not surprising. So he ain't taking no charge. Jarvis was going to sit in the jail right now, even without NaZiyah. So him sitting there having another charge, it wouldn't have hurt him. You got to understand that part. It ain't like the nigga would have been free out there in such and such. He was already going to jail. NaZiyah just made it worse. Okay? So him sitting with the charges, nigga, that charge, this nigga don't give a fuck if he get charged from 97 right now. At the end of the day, most of that shit is going to run concurrent. And if he got any information about NaZiyah, that's his trump card. And that's some real nigga shit for your ass. You feel what I mean? So like, dog, if he ain't do it, and here's the thing. A lot of niggas will sit there and have a charge for murder just to beat it. Because guess what can't happen once you beat murder? Say it with me now. Double jeopardy. Sometimes when it come down to this legal shit, it's playing chess, not checkers. You feel what I mean? And when you have a nigga that's like him, that was facing multiple shit, oh, trust and believe, he'll take any charge right now. He will. Because if he got a Trumpy, he knows that he's going to be able to get some time knocked off of. That nigga be at home with his kids in 8 years. And that's the truth. Hey, all right? Play with me. All right? Watch.
Tested. Okay. And that's of like the 3 million base pairs that exist, fair to say. And there's 150,000 loci in the human genome, correct? Is that right?
Yeah, this is the standard for forensics testing, yes.
It's 24. And so I think you indicated in almost all the things that you tested, there were mixed samples, except for the 2 initial, the buccal swab and the ID card. Is that fair to say? More than one contributor?
Yes, except for the mattress stain swabs, I believe was a single contributor. Otherwise, yes,
Okay.
more than one individual.
Oh, y'all got paused? Who got paused? YouTube or Twitch? Oh, it's already tearing down. You don't hear this shit? Sound like Hurricane Katrina.
Swab, the non-stain swab. I think your report indicates, or your testimony was that there were 3 contributors. Is that correct?
Just wanted to kind of double check to be
Of
sure.
course. Yep. Are you going to refer to your report to do that?
Yes, my report.
Okay.
I don't know, y'all.
So the second, the 5BD.
Yes.
Oh,
YouTube
5BD
ended?
is one individual female.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm looking at.
The hoodie swab's not the stain, you said?
Correct,
Yes,
yes.
that was, I determined it to be 3 individuals present.
Okay. And I think your report says that at least one was male.
Correct. I can't determine how many males, just that at least one is male because there was a rat in the sample.
Okay. So fair to say there could have been 2 male contributors and 1 non-male, 1 female contributor.
Yeah, all I know is at least one in those 3.
Okay.
Hey, y'all, hold on, how I want to do this. Nah. Oh, yeah, I can. Hold on 1 second, y'all.